everyone, didn't see you there. Welcome to Commander Spevington. Today we're going to do a deck profile on a commander deck that I know you have never seen before, for this is a very special commander deck. And I think I might be the only person who's ever built it before. So stick around, and you're going to see some cool shit. Alright, Commander Spevington people, here is the deck. Now we're going to start out with the lands, and I'm not going to tell you who the commander is, because you're not worthy. Just know that the commander lets me play this exact deck. So first off, we got Command Tower. I think that's pretty obvious. Any commander deck is going to play Command Tower, and this is a WUBRG commander deck, so we really need the mana. Next, I play what I call the ramp lands. I'm a big fan of ramping. I like it. It's fun. And the thing is, I try to build this deck and people say you need to get more lands onto your field. And I couldn't find a lot of ways to do that in the colors that I'm playing with the cards that I have. So I kind of had to resort to these lands. So they're kind of just in here to ramp. Next, I got some fetch lands. I'm not a moron, so I'm not spending a bajillion dollars on like the expensive ones. And plus these ones give you the life. Another ones, they take the life. Next, of course, we need some basics. So I'm just playing 3 of each. I'm playing a WUBRG deck. I need basics for WUBRG stuff. So, you know, just the classic lands, classic artworks. I like these artworks. And because it's Commander and it's Singleton, and you can play 1 copy of each spell, even if they're like old as heck. Oh yeah, we got Gaia Power. That'll help us ramp. I got Magical Citadel of Endymion. There's some synergies with my deck, but honestly, I just think it's a cool card to be able to play this. I got Dragon Ravine. I don't have a lot of strategies with it, but it adds 3 different colors, so I'll play it. I got Black Garden. It can give us some colors. It does damage us every time we use it, and it comes into play tapped like a lot of these legendary lands do. But we can also make some tokens every once in a while. We just got to put a 1/1 counter, -1/-1 counter on our creatures that we control. I got Gates of the Dark World. You never know when you might be able to just like filter some cards, which is really helpful because we don't have a lot of card draw either, and I heard that's kind of important. I have Zombie World. Don't really know why, just kind of play it. Neither of these abilities do a whole lot for me, but it's a cool card. I got a Legendary Ocean. Now this one's tricky because it can give blue mana, but it also reduces the cost of all blue creatures, so even my opponents can cast their blue creatures for less. Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Sometimes I get the wizard ability, but really it's because it gives me 3 different kinds of mana. Pretty cool card. Necro Valley. Now that's a powerful card. I don't have any gatekeepers, but I do like white or black mana. And sometimes you might just need that ability. Good thing it's not a static ability, otherwise that would get really oppressive. Sanctuary in the Sky. I mean, white mana, but it can kind of save our white creatures sometimes. It's not super powerful, but who knows. And Skyscraper. This is my favorite. So it just gives some power to some things in First Strike. I can only use its mana for creature spells, but it can give you any color, so it's kind of a good land sometimes. Alright, on to the spells. We have Upstart Goblin. Kind of the best card draw I could find, but like giving my opponents that much life isn't so good. At least it has buyback. We have Foolish Burial. I can put some creatures in my grave to set up for later. Forbidden Lance, I can protect my creatures from non-creatures. And of course it's got Foretell, so I can set it face down and use it later. Pot of Duality. This should help us find the cards we need. It's too bad that you can't cast more than 1 creature spell during the turn you cast Pot of Duality. It kind of slows you down. Scapegoat, got that Foretell, so we can cast it for later. It makes us some goat tokens. We can use as the block, we can use as for like creature plays later, but we can't cast creature spells the same turn we cast Scapegoat. Good thing we can foretell it. Graceful Charity. Now that's a classic card. Only in Commander can you play this. Draw 3 and discard 2. That's a great card. So much fun to play Graceful Charity. One of my favorite cards of all time. Now Pot of Greed. I'm not too sure what it does, but as far as like Commander goes, I think this is the kind of card draw we're talking about. Got Mystical Space Typhoon. Of course you can foretell it, but you know, you're going to be able to pop all those like non-creature cards like spells and traps. Pretty good to have. Always good to have removal. Book of Moon, you know, turning a creature face down, but we can also foretell it. It's pretty good utility. You never know when it's going to come up. Reinforcement of the Army. You got to have all this consistency that you need to play the game. So I'm going to add some warriors to combo off with. Speaking of consistency, we play a small synchro package in here. So I play Tuning, of course. It can also mill us a card. Got United We Stand. I have a few equipped spells in here. United just gives us the most like power of any equipped spell. I got Different Dimension Reincarnation. Card's kind of crazy because if someone exiles our creature, we can just bring it back. Heavy Storm, like removal is always great for those like artifacts, enchantments, spells, and traps. Now Monster Reborn, that's a classic card. You never know when you're going to pop off of a Monster Reborn. Dark Hole, gotta have it. If someone's going way out of hand and I gotta slow them down, you top deck that Dark Hole. Terraforming, that's one of the few cards I could find to help me get more lands on the field. I guess that's called ramping. So I'm running Terraforming. Got Pot of Avarice, so I can put my creatures cards back, and it does have a draw effect in there. So Pot of Avarice is pretty good. Onto the traps, we have Compulse, Classic, Return to the Hand, Wiretap, counter a non-creature by shuffling it into the library. Got Bottomless. Someone's creature is going to get exiled of this thing. It's my cat over there. He's saying hi. He approves of the deck. He's a big fan. We got Fiendish Chain. Classic card just to shut down someone's creature, you know. Can't go wrong with Fiendish Chain. Now Call of the Haunted. That's an old card. All that text just to say revive the monster and attach Call to it. You can even foretell it, though. That's the cool part. And it's got Flash. Even though it's an instant. That should have been a sorcery. Ring of Destruction, great removal. Because we're in Commander, we can play anything we want, so let's play Ring as well. Mirror Force, destroy all attacking creatures. Gotta look out for that Mirror Force. TT, if someone's getting out of hand, we can stop them real fast. Solemn J, if we foretell it, we gotta pay half our life, but we do get to counter any spell. Going on to the creatures, it's just a lot of good stuff because you're only allowed one of each card in this deck in this kind of format. So we got Magician of Faith. It's got the Morph ability, but when it flips face up, we can get back a sorcery or an instant for our grave. Got Effect Veiler. We can channel it to basically stifle something. It's a creature as well. It's also a tuner in case we need that. We got Battle Fader. If someone's trying to swing at you, this is kind of like a fog, but it's a creature too, and that's the cool part. We got Spore. Spore's a great tuner. Just make sure that you have some plants to use it with. So we got Naturia Cherries, another great tuner, and as a plant. Glow Up Bulb, a great plant tuner, helps us get our synchro plays off. Level Eater, going to help us continue our plays. Unknown Synchron, a tuner that we can kind of cast for free sometimes. You never know when it's going to come into play. Got Tuning Wear, so he's kind of neat. You can use him as a mana value too when you're synchroing, and he lets you draw a card. Good old Quillbolt Hedgehog, you know all about him. Got a tuner in the field and cast him from your graveyard. Doppel Warrior, continuing the synchro package. If you synchro him, you get 2 tokens. Raikou, classic card here. It's the only light one we're running. But he's got Morph, and when he comes up from the Morph, we get to destroy a permanent and mill 3 cards without even targeting. I hear it happens sequentially too. So Plague Spreader, it's kind of on theme with all just the good tuners that we're running. But Plague Spreader helps set up for plays. Max C, if someone gets out of hand, maybe we can draw a few cards, but it's also a level 2 monster. Penguin Soldier, he's kind of one of my favorite cards, but he's also helping us with controlling the field by returning stuff to their hands with his Morph ability. Now Morphing Jar has a Morph ability, let me tell you. I couldn't find a lot of card draw, but this one helps out a lot because we all just kind of wheel our hands and draw 5. Can't go wrong with that. Junk Synchron, a really good tuner, helps us make a lot of our plays by getting back our 2 CMC or lower monsters to synchro with. Lone Fire helps us get our plants, such as Dandelion, who helps us synchro by making tokens. Sangan, classic Sangan, let us search when it dies, and Tour Guide, which can summon the Sangan. Spirit Reaper, now he's kind of cool because he doesn't take combat damage, but you can also like hit your opponent and make him discard sometimes. Now, Marauding Captain lets you play another card from your hand, but if you have 2 Marauding Captains on the field, they can't target him with abilities or effects, and that's called the Marauding Captain effect. A DD Warrior Lady, that's a classic kind of removal. It's pretty tough to get past with its Vigilance and its First Strike. It's a really good Esper card. Now, Armageddon Knight, we play a lot of darks that want to be in the grave, so here he is. Armageddon Knight is going to help us set up for combos. Rescue Rabbit, you know, you make 2 tokens with no effects. It's kind of neat. I may as well put it in there. I like Rescue Rabbit. Royal Magical Library. Now remember we have Endymion. We also have Breaker. So that's all of our spell counter cards. But Royal Magical Library, it's a way to draw cards. Plus it defends us. I may as well put it in there. Breaker, he comes into play with a spell counter on him, and spell counter gives him a 1/1 while he has it, but you can remove the spell counter to destroy, back row, so it's kind of nice to have. Honest, you never know when you're going to get hit by an Honest. His channel ability is just so strong, so I play him anyway. Quick Draw helps with the synchro combos. You can just play him for free sometimes. Cyber Dragon, classic card, very powerful, very easy to get on the field, so we may as well play it. Air Knight Parshath, it kind of has that board presence. It's tough, it's hard to block, it draws us cards. Classic card. Caius, the Shadow Monarch. He's kind of a tech. He's got Shadow, but you can also exile something when he comes into play if you cast him, so that's kind of cool. Just good generic removal. And you might do burn damage too. We got Gores. If someone's swinging out at us or they're burning us or something, and all we have is lands, we can play Gores from our hand and kind of slow down the assault to get a big creature on board. We can even synchro with his token because it's got mana value 7. Dark Arm Dragon. Once in a while, we might have 3 Darks engraved, and we may as well bring out this bad boy while we're at it. He's just so powerful. And lastly, Blackluster Soldier, because why not? We got lights, we got darks, we can cast them for free. We may as well play him. Now, the next part of the deck is the extra decks. We got 15 cards here. We got Formula. It's really for that Quasar play, but sometimes you get a Synchro Climb with them. Got Armory Arm, because if you got to make low-level Synchros, that's kind of your guy right there. TG Hyper Librarian to help us draw as we Synchro. He's got pretty good way to protect us with his Vigilance, and he can scry and all that. Junk Warrior, now he is a powerful monster because he just comes in there with that haste, that trample, that first strike, all those 1/1 counters. You gotta use Junk Synchro on the Synchro summon him though. Catastor, classic. If you're not playing black, he's gonna get that Death Touch. Brio. If we're playing with basically no ban list, then you can use Brio because you can remove any card by bouncing it. We had Drill Warrior, great for the Quick Draw Synchron. I don't run Drill Synchron, but Quick Draw's name can be any guy's name, so you can Synchro with them. Goyo, that's a powerful Synchro from ages past. Because in Commander you can play from all formats, here he is. We got Power Tool. Sometimes we make him, we play a few equips for him to search and all that kind of stuff. Ancient Fairy Dragon, surprisingly, is really good in this deck because it's really good to defend us with, and it's one of the few ways we can get lands from our decks. We can also blow up our opponent's lands if they're problematic. And speaking of blowing stuff up, we have Black Rose. It's kind of a board wipe. Sometimes we can just remove their creatures too. Red Dragon Arcfiend is also a pretty good board wipe. He can wipe anything that's basically not going to battle with him. He's just, big, hasty, beat-down creature. Stardust Dragon, a classic, prevents destruction effects, keeps your stuff safe, has Convoke, all that cool stuff. Trishula, now that is a card that you see in Commander, a powerful card, Trishula. It has, what's that card called? Authority of the Council's effect stapled on it, but it's all about that big banish effect from single player. Then we have Shooting Star Dragon, which of course is Stardust plus Formula. You make Shooting Star, you get some real damage in there, some ability to defend yourself from attacks. Really, you're quite safe if you have a Shooting Star. But if you want to go one further, it's an MDFC. You can cast it from the backside and you get Shooting Quasar Dragon. Now that's a powerful monster. It's going to be tough to bring out though. So yeah, that's my deck. My Commander deck from Commander Spubbington. It's got all my favorite cards in there. So, maybe you can try it out sometime if you can get your hands on these cards. It's a lot of fun, honestly. It's my favorite way to play TCGs. So, yeah. Sub for Spub and stick around. I know I teased I'm working on some big projects, and they are coming. I don't know, maybe another 6 months to a year, and it'll be finished to the point that people can see it and play it. But it is coming, and it will be worth the wait.